Morning, guys. So it is the morning of day 30. I think I said it was day 30 yesterday, but I'm changing the dates up. So I did the approach trail, which is 8.5 miles. I started on February 27th. But when you look on the map and it gives you the miles and everything, it doesn't account for the approach trail. So technically I started the trail on February 28th. So that's what we'll be going by from now on. So it's the morning of day 30. Yesterday was a long day, 12 miles. And I mean, I've had harder days, I've had worse days, but yesterday was up in the upper end of the hard days. Went from Molly's Gap shelter to Derek's Knob shelter. And like I said, about 12.1 miles. Got to the shelter and a family shows up, mom, dad, a couple of small kids, and grandpa. So of course I get to sleep next to grandpa. And grandpa, nice guy, but grandpa's, oh, look at the sun coming up. Oh, it's nice, right over the ridge. Look at that, around the corner and get that view. How awesome is that? That's beautiful. Anyway, grandpa's a bit of a snorer and a heavy breather. So between the bits of heavy breathing, which was all night, constant, I got to hear snoring. And there was one other snorer in the shelter. He was on the other side of me. So I didn't get much sleep last night. I got about 5 hours, but that's fine. That's about all I need. So I woke up about 4:35, and I laid there for an hour listening. And I was like, okay, I'm getting up. I was the first one up. Got up, it's pretty windy. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the temperature was. It had to be mid to upper 20s last night, because right now it says it's 33. And it's pretty windy. You don't hear it now because right when I got on the other side of this little mound here, the wind's coming from that direction. So I got up, went over to, there's this little shelf you can, prep your food and stuff. But last night it was on the downward side of the wind, so you could do stuff. This morning, wind's going right at it pretty hard, so I was on the opposite end of the shelter making my coffee on the ground, which is fine. And I look over and there's some people, I guess, tenting about 100 yards from the shelter. Once the shelter's full, you gotta tent up. And they had a good fire going. And I was like, oh man, it was this windy. It's windy. If you can't tell, I'm coming up over the hill. You probably can't hear me. I'll finish this story when I get to a less windy spot. Later. Okay, where was I? Oh, so I went down to check out who was doing the fire. It was just some kids doing a loop out here in the Smokies. It's about 35 mile loop, they said, and they wanted to stay in the shelter, but the shelter was full, so they had to cowboy camp because they were sure they would get into the shelter, but it was full. So they're lucky it didn't rain. I went down there, you could see the look on their face. They were so scared. Having a fire, all these dried leaves, all this heavy wind. They were like, oh, somebody's gonna tell me to put it out. I went down there with my coffee and my breakfast and said, hey man, can I partake the fruits of your labor here and enjoy the warmth? They were just, yeah, come on in. Good bunch of kids. 3 kids. They were nice. They knew what they were doing. They did the fire the right way. They had a tarp and dug a hole. About as safe as you can get it out here in that wind. They were nice, enjoyed that. And it was so good to warm up. Oh, that was good. Well, then I got out of there about 7, I guess. Trying to get up a little bit earlier than I normally do because it's gonna be a long day, over 13 today. But I'll hit today should be a good day because I'm gonna hit, there's the wind again. All right, I'll get back to you in just a minute. You made me some water, some frozen water. Oh, isn't that pretty? Okay, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? Oh yeah, today. So today should be a good day because about 10 miles in we should hit Clingman's Dome. And from what I understand, Clingman's Dome, sorry, I'm going uphill, is the highest point on the entire 2,200 mile Appalachian Trail. I've seen a couple videos of it. There's a whole long ramp, concrete ramp and observation deck. Should be fun. Looking forward to that. But it's also a special day because about 9 miles in, or 7 from now, going 2 miles in already, we should hit the 200 mile marker. Woohoo! 200 miles. So if you've done the math in your head, which I have, day 30, 200 miles, that's not too good. Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's pretty good. Here's why. I was watching a YouTube channel right before I moved into the Smokies because I wanted to see what to expect. So I was watching this YouTuber talk about going through the Smokies. Whew. I'm sorry, I catch my breath. He was saying, actually he was interviewing a hostel owner who was a former thru hiker. And his first question to her was, let me get up this hill. His first question to her was, what advice would you give to a newbie hiker? And I was like, that's me. That's me. I'm a newbie hiker. Tell me. And her advice was, newbie hikers should stay in the single digit numbers as far as mileage for the first 200 miles. And then, you know, one day beef it up 10, 11, 12, one of those numbers, and then drop back down in single digits a couple days, then go back up and come back down. Things like that. Ease your way into it. And I was like, oh, I've already got several days in the double digits. But I also have several days zeros. So maybe it's a wash, I don't know. But I think I'm finally getting there. I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I'm keeping up with the kids. Hiking with a bunch of youngins, all in their 20s. And we keep meeting up at the shelter, so we're going the same distances. Yeah, I start off earlier. Yeah, they pass me and get there before me. But I get there. Oh, coming up on top of a mountain again, so it might get windy. But anyway, I'll start the camera back up when we get to Clingman's Dome. We'll see what it looks like. Unless there's something more interesting to look at before. That's a big up. Yeah. See you guys later. Not sure if you guys can hear that. I'm up top of a mountain, I don't know which one. Hear that wind? Just rustling through that little pine tree. Whew. It's so windy. I had to pack my chair. It was blowing me all around. Right up on the ridge here. Oh my gosh, this is... Okay. Let's see what it looks like up here. Oh wow. Okay. A little bit of a view there. Let me turn around so you can see. So we're definitely heading up. I don't know where we're at now. I should probably check the height and see where we're at. But you can tell just by the trees and stuff. A lot more pine trees, a lot more moss. You can just tell we're getting higher and higher. How the elevation changes the fauna and the plant life and everything. It's pretty cool. I love pine trees. This is nice. Now climb. That could be a little nicer. I'm not gonna lie, but it's pretty cool. We're coming down this mountain, but I'm pretty sure we're going up there. Okay, I made it to the top of that mountain. It was a beast. I love those trail maintainers, but those steps, those things are a foot tall. Oh man. So this isn't where we need to be. I can see it from the next mountain over. Here, take a look. So that's where we're going. The tower, and you can see the overlook area right there. Okay. So that's probably what I did here, over there again. Okay, that's all right. It's gonna be worth it. Clear skies, the view's gonna be amazing. You guys hear me talk about the views a lot. And I know they don't come across well on the camera because I've watched hundreds of these videos and everybody bragging about the view, and I'm like, I don't look like much. It looks a little better in person, but it's not so much the view as it's the only real reward you get other than knocking out some miles when you do a hefty climb, particularly like this one. It's just nice to have some kind of reward to look forward to and see it. But we'll get over there, take a look, and then I probably got about 3.5, 4 miles from here to the shelter. This is a 13-mile day, 13+ mile day. Up, a lot of up. I think the old man might have been lying to me yesterday, but I think he meant well. He was former Navy quartermaster. He wouldn't lie to me. It was hard yesterday, but you know, it's kind of like the military says, the only easy day was yesterday. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, there's the observation deck. Oh. Kauai. All the way up there is where we're headed. Oh, we made it. That over there is Gatlinburg. You can see that, but we are right across. So not quite halfway across the Smokies. We'll get there tomorrow. I get lost again coming up here. I took the long way. I don't know how I did that. It was a long way. A few extra steps though. Okay, that was Clingman's Dome. Highest point on the Appalachian Trail for the 2,200 miles. Right up there. I don't know how I got turned. I didn't really get turned around. I was still on the trail. It still said Appalachian Trail, but the guy I was hiking with, he was behind me. He was coming down when I came up. I ended up by the visitor center, had to hoof it half a mile up this road. He came up over here. So, I don't know. It's nothing new for me taking a long way around. He did tell me something very important though. He did say the 200-mile marker is right over here. So I'm gonna come over here and get a picture with it. 200 miles, baby, 200 miles. He said it's right around the corner, so I'm not gonna go too far though. Pretty fancy, huh? Just about right for the trail here. 200. That's fantastic. Well, I got about 3.5, probably 3 to the campsite. And then tomorrow, I got about 5 to go to Newfound Gap and meet my brother-in-law, who's gonna resupply me for another 3.5 days. So get me out of these Smokies. I'm ready to get out of the Smokies. I'll see you guys later.